Do y'all find yourselves like feeling overwhelmed like with relationships? And the reason why I ask that is because I noticed that as you know what I mean, I'm going through, well, not going through, been broken up for a while, and I like my peace. But I noticed that as time go on, when life just progress and you as I get older, I'm not a young boy no more. But at the same time, I remember always hearing like from the older generation, like when you get older, you want to grow up with somebody. But it's weird because it seemed like I get a lot done by myself, and I realized that I like peace more than being into a relationship because it seemed like being into a relationship these days, just from somebody from the experience that I have, being married and now going through a divorce, it feel like I'm more happier by myself, rocking out, doing what I gotta do in order to maintain my happiness, you know. And I know a lot of dudes today probably going through that, even women going through that. But I can't speak from a woman's point of view. I could only speak from a man's point of view. And the reason why I say that is because I noticed that we live in an era now where as though it's hard to get along with each other when two parties don't even work towards helping each other out. Like it's all about for self. And I noticed that now that we live in an era now where as though everybody is for self, one party is going to feel like they're being taken advantage of, which is true. And in most cases, no offense, I'm gonna say that you see it on the man's side, but you also see it on the woman's side too. Because at the same time, dudes are not really committing because we don't a lot of times don't see the real benefit. And a lot of times when you don't see the benefit, you don't see the benefit because you see a lot of women actually running game on dudes to the point where as though you you don't have that type of trust no more. That trust is gone. And the reason why that trust is going because you're seeing paternity fraud, you're seeing alimony, you're seeing child support, you're seeing so many things stacked up against men to the point we see that the system is working against us. When you're looking at a bunch of guys, and you see it a lot, you're seeing a lot of women getting a lot of resources on the backs of men, hard work. And that's sad because when you see the hard work that dudes are putting in, you want to catch up? Uh, when you see like hard, you know what I mean, you see men working hard, busting their butt, and they doing what they gotta do, you also noticing that men are actually losing their resources all because they choose to be a good man. And when you choose to be a good man, you choose to be a good role model, you end up becoming a person of casualty, being violated. You know, here you go, dude. Turn that down some. Don't have it so loud, okay? You you end up becoming. Come here. Come here. Love you, dude. Give me five. All right. No, stop. Here. It's late, dude. Calm down. Love you. Come here. Give me a kiss. Love you. All right. Eat your food. So you end up realizing that a lot of things in life that we think are worth it are not really worth it anymore. And it's sad because what it used to be is not what it is no more. So I think a lot of us need to kick that habit of thinking that we're going to be able to get ahead and build the family like our older generation did. That's not true. You're not going to see that no more. You're not. Because in order to get in order to get things, you know what? I only want to say get things back because I don't even think a lot of us even want that. Because I can tell you this now. I noticed even growing up, I used to see my grandpa. He never looked around to try to settle down. Like his wife, which was my grandma, of course, passed away when before I was born. It was maybe a month or two before I was born, she passed away. Well, make a long story short, even though she passed away, My grandpa was still out here having fun, enjoying running the streets, and that's what was told to me. But as I got older, my grandpa was still paying to play. He was just still doing him, and he was in his 60s. No, 70s, 70s. Or should I say he was in his 60s at a time? I think he was in his 60s because he died in 76. So my grandpa was still having fun, but he had his own. He had his own crib, and he's still doing his thing. Didn't know how to read, but he had money, and he used to work at a steel factory. I think that's like I'm not gonna say they're not around no more, but that's what he did. He used to work at a steel yard, and it just looked as though like when I look at my grandpa, he died happy. Like he I think he might have caught a heart attack because he was in the house when he passed away. But to make a long story short, being there, being around him, I was able to see the joy that I brought to my grandpa because he used to love the ground I walked on. And I remember one time I made him break down and cry to the point he's ready to whip my ass. He thought I was missing. I was sitting in the house, I was in the house under the bed. And I was under the bed for almost 30 something minutes, and my grandpa left the house, went looking for me. Now, mind you, when he caught me, he beat the brakes off me. And now that I'm older, I get it. When I was younger, a little kid, I thought that shit was funny. And now I realize it was nothing funny about that. I never knew that I had a relative that I never ever met was abducted. Or should I say, they found him weeks later in a refrigerator in an abandoned house. Check this out. He was in an abandoned house, no clothes on. Him and his friend was in a refrigerator, and they had no clothes on. So that lets you know right then and there that something happened to them. And I know it's more to the story. I just know that part. And so obviously that they got most likely violated. But I was older when I found out about that. And I didn't never knew about that story. That's how I know that when we grow up, men go through a lot, women endure a lot growing up. But at the same time, when you look at what men and women went through growing up, they was able to I'm gonna say I'm gonna say basically stick together, or if they wasn't sticking together, they looked out for each other, even though they might not have been around each other all the time. But you'll see people with longevity of even when couples broke up back then. I do know this for a fact. When people broke up back then, I remember because when I see some of the uncles or cousins that's broken up with their girls or their wives or whatever, and they had kids, they still would come around. They still was doing stuff. You still see everybody operating, even though it might be arguments here and there. But today in time, I think there's so many resources out here where women are getting so much from government, and now some of them drugs are starting to be pulled from under them. You're starting to see a lot more. It felt like panhandling. You're seeing a lot more women working, and when I say working, I'm talking about working, pay for play. You're seeing it a lot, and it's sad because I like it. I don't have a problem with it, but at the same time, it made me realize too that ain't no love out here no more. Everything is for self. Everything is for cash. Everything is for money. So when you looking at somebody now, it's more so, how can I make a couple dollars? And you seeing that a lot. You seeing a lot of that now, and it's sad because ain't nobody really walking around here trying to cuff up anything for long term. Everything is for short term. And I can admit I'm guilty of that, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm an 80s baby. My year of playing around outside was in the early 2000s, and you know what I mean. So I'm a product of that environment. So damn hot. I'm a product of that environment. So I understand what it's like to be outside to play, and a lot of us out here are going through that. It's hard to find real, genuine relationships because even as guys, we don't trust it. So a lot of us don't even know what it's like to even really be in a relationship. Like when they came out with a new study, not a study, they show this chart talking about men being with a woman, I thought it was a lie. But then when I thought about it, I said, yeah, it's probably truthful. When they talked about men having some men under 30 or 35 or something like that haven't slept, have well, should I say virgins, or they never slept with a woman. And I said to myself, yo, I can. At first, I didn't believe it, but now I kind of understand why. When you kind of think about it, sometimes you start to think about the stuff that you did, and you're like, yo, how's that possible? But then I had to also reevaluate and see that what era that a certain era was where everybody was outside compared to now. Now the clubs are bullshit. The clubs are dead. So when you look at lounges, lounges were the second spot. That's dead. And now they got dating spots where they be having dating meetups and everything, and you're not seeing men show up. And one of the reasons why is because it's too much back and forth, too much disrespect. And when you have all the disrespect and the men can't really protect themselves, they gotta take it. And if they do anything, they can catch charges. Men unclocked out. It is what it is, you know. So I just say, like, if y'all find anything out here, y'all lucky, power to you. But I understand why you see a lot of people today, like far as men, like, yo, I'm cool. I pass. Peace.